Hello students, today we are going to start our new chapter of accountancy for class 11th and the name of the chapter is double entry system. So students, first of all we will have to understand what is the meaning of double entry system. Double entry system is a system in which every transaction affects at least two accounts. If one account is debited, the other account will be credited. For example, if the business purchase furniture, it means that furniture increases in the business and at the same time cash decreases from the business. It means if we purchase furniture for the business, that affects two accounts, furniture account as well as cash account. So single transaction affects two accounts. That is double entry system. Principles or characteristics of double entry system. Every business transaction affects at least two accounts. If one account is debited, the other account will be credited. So, at the same time, a single transaction affects two accounts and from equal amounts. Second one is recording of both personal and impersonal aspect. It means that in double entry system, personal and impersonal aspects both are recorded. So what is the meaning of personal or impersonal aspect? This concept we will understand in the next slide. Then recording is made according to certain specified rules. It means that in double entry system some rules of debit and credit are fixed and the transaction are recorded on the basis of certified rules. Third one is preparation of trial balance. It means that in double entry system, a single transaction affects two accounts. If one account is debited, the other account will be credited. So both debit and credit aspects are recorded in the trial balance. And in the trial balance, if debit side are equal in the credit side, it means that if both sides are equal, that means arithmetically the trial balance are correct. Classification of accounts. The accounts are mainly classified into two parts, personal accounts and impersonal accounts. The impersonal account further classified into two parts, real account and nominal account. One by one we are going to discuss all the concepts. So first of all, personal account. Personal account included an individual, any firm, company, institution, all that are included in the personal account. In personal account like account of Mohan, account of Ramchandar, Krishnachandar, account of DCM Limited, account of Delhi University, it means that if any account related from any human being or from any organization or from outstanding or from prepaid, all the concepts are included in the personal account. So what is the rule of personal account? The personal account gives the rule that is debit the receiver and credit the giver. It means that if any person receive anything, that will be debited, and if any person gives anything, that will be credited. So we will understand that rule with the help of two examples. First of all, paid rupees 20,000 to Hari. It means that in this example, business paid 20,000 rupees to Hari. So who is the receiver? Hari. In this case, Hari is the receiver because Hari receives the cash. So what is our rule says? Our rule says that debit the receiver. In this, Hari is receiver. So Hari debit to cash account because if we paid to Hari, that reduces our cash balance. So Hari will be debited because Hari is the receiver. The second example, received 10,000 from Mohan. So who is Mohan? Mohan is giver. Because if Mohan paid something to the business, that time Mohan is the giver. So what is our rule says? Credit the giver. That time if Mohan paid something to the business, that time we receive cash. So anything that comes in the business, that will be debited. So what comes in the business? That is cash. So in this case, cash account debit to Mohan, because Mohan is the creditor. Sorry, Mohan is the giver, and we credit the giver. One thing is very important, that we did not put account word with the name of any person. So Hari is individual, not Hari account. We cannot put Hari account because Hari is the human being. In this cash account, with cash we put account. But with Mohan we cannot put account because account word is not used with the name of any person. Types or classification of personal account. The personal account classified into three parts: natural personal account, artificial personal account, and representative personal account. In natural personal account, natural persons are included like human being. For example, Mohan's account, Sohan's account, Seema's account, Data's account, Kratos account. All are included in the natural personal account because all are human being. The second one is artificial personal account. If any account that is related from any organization is called artificial personal account. For example, any firm's account, any limited company's account, any institution's account, any bank account, or any type of organization account are comes under the heading of artificial personal accounts. The next one is representative personal account. When anything that is related from outstanding and prepaid, that comes under the heading of representative personal account. The second type of account, that is real account. In real account we included all the fixed assets that included in the real account. So the example of real account is furniture account, machinery account, building account, goodwill account. All are the assets. So all assets comes in the real account. And the real account gives the rule that debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So anything that comes in the business will be debited, and anything that goes from the business will be credited. For understanding this rule, here one example is given that if furniture for rupees 10,000 has been purchased for cash, so we purchase furniture. So what comes in the business? That is furniture. And what goes from the business? That is cash. Because for purchasing furniture, we will have to pay cash. So furniture comes in the business. So anything that comes in the business will be debited, and anything that goes from the business will be credited. So what is the journal entry? Furniture account debit to cash account. Types or classification of real accounts. Real account are classified into two categories. First one is tangible real account. The second one is intangible real account. Tangible real account means anything that we can touch, feel, measure, purchase and sold are comes under the heading of tangible account. For example, cash account, stock account, furniture account, land account, building account. Or intangible real account represent that anything that cannot be touched but we feel that comes the intangible account. For example, goodwill account, patents account, trademarks account, copyrights accounts, all comes under the heading of intangible real account. The next rule is nominal account. In nominal account, we included all expenses, incomes, gains and all losses. So what the rule says of nominal account? Nominal account gives the rule debit the expenses and losses and credit the incomes and gains. So for understanding this rule, here one example is given that paid rupees 20,000 for salaries. It means that salary is over expense. And what is our rule says? Debit the expenses. So salary is over expense. So we will have to debit salary account because salary is one type of expense. For paying salary, we will have to pay cash. It means cash goes from the business. So anything that goes from the business will be credited. So what is the answer? Salary account debit to cash account. Salary is expense and expense always debited. And that anything goes from the business will be credited. So in this, salary account debit and cash account credit by rupees 20,000. And these three rules of personal account, real account or nominal account are called golden rules of journal. Stages or part of double entry system. Double entry system always record original. It means that all transactions are first of all recorded in the journal. Journal is called original record book. In this, chronological transactions are recorded. It means date wise transactions are recorded in a single book, and that book is called journal. So journal is the primary book in which all the transactions are recorded at a one place. The second one is classification. After journal, we classified all the transactions into different accounts. That is called classification, and the different accounts are called ledger. So in journal, salary account, rent account, Ram's account, Shyam account, all transactions are recorded in a single book. After that, we classify Ram's related information in Ram's account, Shyam related information in Shyam's account, salary related information in salary account, rent related information in rent account. So separate accounts are maintained for each and every transaction. That is called ledger. And we transfer all the transaction from journal to ledger. That is called posting. So that is also called ledger posting. And in this, similar nature things are recorded at a same book. It means all rent related information are recorded in rent account. All Ram's related information are recorded in Ram's account. Summary. After preparing ledger, we will have to prepare trial balance. So all debit aspects are recorded in the debit side. All credit aspects are recorded in the credit side. And if debit and credits are equal, that means arithmetically this account is correct and we follow double entry system. That point tells us that we follow the double entry system. After that, with the help of trial balance, we prepare trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet. Trading and profit and loss account both provide the profitability position of the business, but the balance sheet provides the financial position of the business. Advantages of double entry system or causes of its popularity. Why double entry system is very popular? The first reason is scientific system. Double entry system is a scientific system. It is accepted by each and every organization because this system is scientific. Second one is complete record of every transaction. In double entry system, all transactions are completely recorded. It means that any incomplete record are not recorded in the double entry system. So that is also one of the major advantage of double entry system. Preparation of trial balance. With the help of double entry system, we can easily prepare trial balance. Preparation of trading account and profit and loss account. With the help of double entry system, we also prepare trading account as well as profit and loss account. Trading account tells the gross profit and gross loss, and profit and loss account tells us to the net profit and net loss. What is the basic difference between gross profit and net profit? We will discuss in the next chapter. Then, knowledge of financial position of the business. With the help of double entry system, we also prepare the balance sheet, and balance sheet tells about the financial position of the business. It means that with the help of double entry system, we also have to calculate the financial position of the business. That is also one of the major advantage of the double entry system. Knowledge of various information. Double entry system also tells the various information like what is the amount of sales, purchase and closing stock, what amount is due and what amount is received, what amount due to pay paid to the suppliers, or in other words the total number of creditors. It also tells about our debtors, and it also tells what is our expenses, what is our incomes. All information we can calculate with the help of double entry system. So this system is scientifically accurate system. Lesser possibility of frauds. With the help of double entry system, we can easily detect the fraud. That is also one of the advantage of double entry system. Legal approval. Double entry system is a scientific system, so legally it is approved. Comparative study. With the help of double entry system, we can compare one firm to the another firm, and we also compare with the similar firm also. So that is also helpful in comparative study. Help management in decision making. With the help of double entry system, the management can take their decisions. Suitable for all type of businessman. Double entry system is very suitable for all type of businesses. But some disadvantage of double entry system are also. The first one is it is a expensive system. It is difficult system because the rule of debit and credit is little bit complex. So for applying double entry system, we will have to understand the rule of debit and credit. So that is one of the disadvantage for someone and some people. Only arithmetical accuracy we can check with the help of double entry system. There are many errors. Errors of omission, errors of commission, errors of principal. What is the error of omission? If a transaction remains unrecorded, sometimes if we forget to record any transaction, so that cannot be detected with the help of double entry system. That error is called error of omission. The next type of error is error of commission. If wrong amount is recorded in the books, that is also not detected with the help of double entry system. Error of principal. If the amount is recorded on the correct side and through in a wrong account, that is also not detected by the double entry system. So all are the major disadvantages of double entry system. Compensating error. If one error is compensate or cancelled to any other error, that is called compensating error. So there are lots of chances of compensating error. For example, if we will have to receive 1000 rupees from Ram and we will have to pay 1000 rupees to Shyam, and we forget both the transactions, we did not receive the amount as well as we don't paid the amount, so that effect is nullified. Our cash is decreased by rupees 1000 as well as our cash is increased by rupees 1000. It means that 1000 covered the another 1000. That is compensating error. In this, one error is covering to the another error. That is compensating error. With this point, our chapter is finished.